Hey guys, Parfax here, and today we're bringing you a video on how to make money once you're level 60. All right, let's get started. So a lot of you are level 60, and once you get there, you look and you're like, well, I really need more coin, especially on these fresh start servers. Some of the stuff is going to be pretty pricey, and if you want to buy anything, it's going to take a nice chunk of coins. Now, we can actually use a lot of this to our advantage. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the market. Now, we're not going to go too incredibly in depth with this because, well, you need to have at least a little bit of money and be willing to put some money on the trading post. But if you know what you're doing, you don't ever have to go out and farm anything to make money. Now, I will go here to my orders and you can just kind of see what I have buy orders up for. So we have some buy orders that we just placed. Now, my server is a little bit different because I'm on Titan, one of the Return to Eterna ones, and this server is a little scuffed when it comes to pretty much everything. So the amount of stuff costs here, I like my English there. The stuff that is here is gonna be a little bit odd. For the most part, some of it's gonna be pretty close because we did start the same time, but because we have a lower population server mixed with a weird event going on, it's kind of interesting to see, to say the least. So we're going to be putting up especially stuff like Wireweave Age Tannin. Now, these are just buy orders, and I'll show you what some of the prices of these are here very shortly. The reason why we're focusing on these is because, remember this beginning of this video, I'm like, you're fresh level 60 and you want to make some coin. Well, one of the things that everybody does once you hit level 60 is go do chest runs. And what do you get when you do chest runs? A bunch of this material. Now, I don't have solvent on here, which you should be, put solvent on here. I just forgot to put solvent on here. But we're going to do a couple little test runs here. So we have 53 cents, and these are all over a coin, flux being 350-ish coins. So we're going to put a couple test runs out here. It doesn't take too much coins to actually put a test run out here. And we have a bunch of other materials. We have some weird wood. One of the things that I put in a lot of my videos is cooking can always make you money, and it doesn't take a lot of coin. Now, you don't have to even do the eggs that are one a piece, and honestly, I'm probably not going to make any money here because we've only gotten 14. We'll leave it up. We'll see if I get any more, but you have a lot of things that can make you some decent money, especially like meats and stuff like that. Now, not everything has, you can see here. Now, these buy orders haven't been up for too long, but we have buy orders up for a penny and 6 cents and 37 and 28. And these are going to make nice profits pretty much as soon as we get them, because the amount of money that we are investing is very tiny. The amount of taxes we're paying are very tiny. So you can always go into the cooking section and get some stuff. Now, the one things that I would avoid would be a lot of the material that is very end game. So even Sumptuous Rabbit can be kind of a trap. Now, it is kind of cheap right now, and this is going to be something that people start buying. So let's see what the buy order is for right now. Oh, at 10? I mean, we're 100%. We even go 11. We'll 100% just put 50 down on that because we will always make our money. This is what I'm saying. Now, you're not guaranteed to have people buy it. Now, it looks like people are selling to it a little bit, because we have a 99 quantity here. They probably put 100 and 18, so they probably put 20. So we're going to go ahead and put up 50 just because more than likely people are going to buy it. Now, like I said, this is Titan, so things on here are kind of wonky. But just note that some of the end game material that you typically would think are going to be very expensive might not be as expensive right off the bat because, well, people just don't have the recipes or the crafting stations. For instance, armadillo meat. Apparently, I am an idiot. So you have prime armadillo meat. There's not even any on the market, and I guarantee people have it. I'm going to have a bunch of the scorpion meat. But if you put this up there, we don't even have a tier 5 cooking station yet. People aren't in Brimstone that often, so it's very unlikely that a lot of people have this recipe. Now, keep that in mind because people are going to be leveling up their trade skills. One thing you can also do is, do things like iron ore. You can see iron ore is over a penny a piece here, or a dollar, whatever you want to call it. And we have 50, so we can do, let's do 1,000. Boom. We are having a fee of 11 coins. So essentially all we need to buy is about 40 iron, and we have at least made our money back, because you do have to double the fee because you do have to list it again. It's actually a little bit more than that because you're going to take a little bit more of a hit when you sell it because you're going to be selling it for more. But if we get like 50, 60 iron out of that, it's going to be straight profit. So it's going to be really good. So just keep that in mind. Things like ore and things like, you know, your base woods and rawhide, you know, greenwood, even look at greenwood. It is 0.8 on my server. So it's probably going to be less on your server because you're going to have more bots and just more people out there farming it. But it's going to be a great way to put in some nice buy orders. You see our greenwood is going for 30 cents. I think that's mine right there. So we're going to just go ahead and put 30 and we'll just go 2,000. Put it in there and see what happens. So you keep that in mind. We're not going to go over everything because I could spend 3 hours talking about what you cannot sell on the market. But you just got to look at your server, look what's selling, and just start clicking the buy order button to see what has a good profit and see how much it's going to cost you to do it. Because people always tell me, Parfax, I don't have enough money to start doing buy orders. You can do it with 1,000 coins and start making money on it. So that is absolutely no excuse. And that's just a couple quests. Next, let's continue to talk about sort of that same thing, and it's gonna be your base materials. Now I'm gonna give you 2 locations that you can farm, but one of them is gonna be something you probably didn't expect. So first, we're here in Cutlass and we're farming rawhide. Rawhide is going to be one of the most needed resources for a very long time. We're here in Cutlass. Of course, Fort Ramos is really good, and then you can just go around the beach pretty much anywhere in Cutlass and you can find a bunch of these alligators. And when doing this, you want to be a dexterity based. Of course, you can get that extra yield bonus. You want to get boosters if you can. And I like to have at least one ranged weapon with me so that I can kind of pull them. Now I'm using a musket because I don't have a whole lot of points in a musket. We've actually leveled it up a little bit from doing this type of farm, but it is very, very valuable to get these. Now the big thing here is to actually look at where it's the highest. Most of the time, if you're not interested in getting your refining up, the smaller amounts, or at least the lower tier of resource, is actually going to give you the most. Because unlike live, not a lot of people have their refining all the way up. So they have to go ahead and level it. So because they have to level it, it's actually more valuable for them to have the base resource than it is for them to have the higher tiers. So you have to look on the market and see where you can get it up. Now, obviously, it is very good for you to get your refining up, and you do need to get it up. But if you're looking strictly for money, a lot of times, even just doing rawhide is going to give you the most experience. Now, the second spot that I'm going to show you is going to be one that I've talked about before, but I don't see many people talking about, and it can make you a crazy amount of coin right now. All right, so the next thing we're going to farm is here at Glass Lake and then all the way down into the Wayward Mounds, or whatever it's called. We're actually going to be farming mainly these crags is what I call them. Essentially, they give a bunch of moats and stuff like lodestone. Each one of them give a different type of lodestone, and they are plentiful around here. Now, not only are the moats going to be very valuable, not only does it give you nice mining experience, but the lodestone can actually be pretty valuable as well. This is an old-time farming spot that I really utilized early game, especially to get these earth crags. Earth crags were really valuable at the very beginning, and they're not as valuable now, or at least comparatively. They're all still very valuable. Now, basically, you can just go around this entire lake and then down into the Wayward Mounds, or whatever they're called down there. Did that? Okay. I was like, did that just not get mined? But you go down here and you farm a bunch. There are a ton of these little moat crags around everywhere, and there's actually some, you know, of the like blight moths and stuff like that that you will find inside the mounds or the waywards or whatever they're called, and they are extremely valuable. Everybody's going to need moats. You need moats for doing stone cutting. You need moats for doing your honing stones. You need moats for a ton of things, and moats notoriously are one of the bottlenecks when it comes to gearing, and they are very, very valuable. Now, they do have tools now that give you moats, which of course, if you can get one, will be very valuable. but that does require a lot of investment that you probably don't have. So come here, get these blight moths, get all these crags, and you will be absolutely amazed at how much money per hour that you can make. You can also pick up things like these petals. They are very good. Make sure you go back in here because these are going to give you a lot of death motes, and death motes are very valuable because they're used not only in stone cutting, not only in a few other things, but the big things are they are used in weaponsmithing. You can see here we have some soul motes, which are very valuable. Look, we can have a soul worm here, and we have 2 soul crags right there. So this area is absolutely stacked. You see that we have 2, I believe these are going to be blight crags back here. Yep, we have some blight crags back here that we can pick up, and these are super valuable, especially these blight crags. And make sure you come back here. Now, of course, we have some chests back here that we can grab. Make sure you grab these because, you know, we're on a money run, and these are just straight money. 14 age tannin, and get these because these are very plentiful. And if you don't have people back here camping them, maybe after this video you might, because this is a ton of money per hour. Now, it's not only this area. You can do pretty much any of the base resources and make coins. Even at the first couple days, water was selling for quite a bit on my server, and water is the easiest resource in the game to get. I know a few people that made like 5, 6, 7,000 coins off of just selling water, and it didn't take them pretty much any time at all. Water is surprisingly one of the better resources to gather. Now, it's never going to make you crazy money per hour, but if you're just kind of bored and don't really want to leave town, you can just crouch in water, gather up 10, 15,000 water, and then put a lot of it up on the market, and you'll be able to make a nice little profit. Now, I'm not suggesting everybody to go out there and farm water because that would be very boring and doesn't really accomplish much other than get you a little bit of coin, but it's things like that that are going to make you a ton of money. Not just going for the iron. Iron, of course, is the most valuable resource early game, so it's going to be one of the most camped. And I could have put maybe like an iron route on here and you guys could have tried to go do it, but let's be honest, more than likely it's going to be camped. There's a chance that Fort Ramos is camped too, so you can make sure just go around the surrounding areas, go to any of the starting areas that might have the ability to get some leather, because people typically go to the places that everybody knows. But you can find that even if it's not as efficient, you can still make even more coins because you're not fighting with people. Link's Cave in, I think it's Everfall? No, Windsward. Is it Windsward? No, oh, Monarchs right here. So Ophel Grotto is a pretty decent place. There's a bunch of crags around there, or at least a few. There's a bunch of other gathering stuff. There's some iron that spawns there, and there's a bunch of links that you can skin. Don't just go to one area and expect to gather just one thing. Yes, you want to go to an area to maybe focus on something, but just take the resources that you can. It's okay if you only get a handful, as long as you're just doing something to continue to make money. It's going to be very valuable. Now, one of the other things you can do is actually quest. So we'll look at my quest log here, and I know this is boring, but it actually makes tons of money, especially early game. So we're going to hit J and just look at some of the side quests I have. I don't have a whole lot because we've taken a lot of them down, but we have the Flower of the Sands and Brimstone. I know this isn't going to be something you do that often or, you know, that early, but it's 112 coin. You're going to see once you get into the 60 zone, 113, 161, that's Shattered Mountain, 115, 162. They each give over 100 coins, and a lot of them give gypsum orbs as well, which are extremely valuable early game, not in a monetary sense, but for getting your stuff done. So make sure you're doing quests. Quests will get you tens of thousands of coins, and they give you some pretty decent gear as well. So we have a nice 533 sword with Refreshing Move Enchanted, which is really, really good. Then we have the Devourer. You know, this is a Brimstone drop with Refreshing Move, Life Stealing, and Enchanted for a Rapier, 610. And there's a lot of things like that. We get a nice little potted cactus. We get some a box of whatever this is going to be. But it's a great way to still make coins. So make sure you get out there and do your quests. All right, next we're going to talk a little bit about gear. Now, I haven't sold pretty much any resources at all on my server You can see here, these are just it's buy orders, so sell orders. I haven't really sold any material, but I've sold a decent amount of gear. Now, the big thing when it comes to gear here is to know where most of the player base is at, and then just kind of underprice a little bit from what everybody's doing. So what I tend to do is just put stuff up there for a little bit. Now, you can see here, I did have a couple up here for a little over 1,000. Like this was a resilient, refreshing, focus heavy, but I mean, most heavy or mages don't go heavy, but I thought that's a pretty good piece. It didn't sell, but you see here we had a 442 con staff that we sold for 500. Some just random heavy dex pants that we sold for 100. We had a void gauntlet with focus and putrefying scream mortal siphoning, sell for 1,100. And you can see here that we were just selling a bunch of different gear. I guess we did sell a little bit of thick hide because that's comes forever, but we sold a decent chunk of gear, and this is actually a lot of this come from running portals, etc. So put a lot of your gear up, just put it up for pretty cheap because you're going to get more money putting it on the marketplace. Now, you don't see it here, but I've probably made 20-ish thousand just from selling random like 400 to 500 pieces of gear. We've put up a ton of it. So make sure if you get something that someone might buy, make sure you put it up there. The big thing right now is going to be luck pieces. Luck pieces are always very valuable. Let's see if we've sold any luck pieces. We have divine, oh, right there we have a focus, a luck amulet with alacrity luck, and we sold it for 1,500. We have, let's see, do we have any other luck stuff we've sold? Would have been up here. I don't know if we didn't really put a ton of it on the market. We didn't end up selling that helm, but selling luck stuff does very well, but just make sure you price it appropriately. If you don't want to look on the market, just put it up for a couple hundred a piece. And I find that after you do a chest run or do a bunch of farming, you're going to find that you're going to make a ton of coin. Now, the big thing here is just know the market at least a little bit. You know, if you don't know the game very much and you're just fresh to 60, ask somebody what they're doing. Maybe the people that are the highest in your company at the moment, you know, they're level 60, maybe they're starting to do wars or, you know, whatever. Ask them what they're grinding for. You know, one of the big things that are going to come up are these corruptions. Now, there has been a lot of people, at least on my server, running breaches. So these can get pretty cheap, you would think. When it comes to your heart rune gems, you're gonna need a ton. Now, people are a little bit starved on umbral shards at the moment, so it's gonna be a little while before we start really pumping into them. But once we do, corrupted lodestones are going to get pretty expensive. There's none even on my market right now. Let's see what the lower tiers of them go for. So we have the splinters. There's none on my market at the moment. Are there any? The slivers are probably on there. Yeah, so 26 a piece right now. I mean, let's see if I can sell some of mine. I doubt I can, but if we can sell them, we're going to make some serious coins because we have quite a few of the slivers. We have 106. And yeah, I mean, that was just from running portals. Now, we'll put up a test run of 30. But we sell those, that's going to be a huge chunk of coins. So just know what's coming up, look on the market, and if you see something that's really odd, like that one right there where it was 26 coins a piece, then just put up a small batch and don't go too heavy. You can make money in this game doing almost anything. Dungeons are a great way to make money. Doing OPR is a great way to make money, and it's not going to make you a ton of money per hour, but it's going to do things other than just make money. Maybe go and do it in OPR. It's going to give you some gypsum orbs. It's going to give you some faction reputation, and it's going to give you some expertise bumps with the boxes that you get. Running dungeons are a great way to make money because you not only get your concealed vaults for the day, you not only get your pouches for the day, which give you coins, but you're also just going to get just straight up coins while you're in there and still going to get expertise bumps. So just do things in New World essentially, and it's going to make you coins. Some of the stuff makes more money than others. If you can find a little niche in the market, is what I suggest you do for when you comes to buying and selling stuff. Get to know that little corner of the market, and you'll be able to make a ton of money just by buying and selling stuff on the market, and then you can branch out from there. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe like always. I hope this helps you out a little bit in making money. It's not that hard in New World to do it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.